Hey everybody, and welcome out to the TBC Podcast, presented by the letter C. I'm your host, Herao, and with me today is...
8-Bit Ninja Turtle.
And that was a little delayed, and I'm going to hate you in editing. Anyway, today this podcast is going to be a little different. We are going to tell a story instead of talking about gaming news or movie news or TV news, whatever the hell we usually talk about. To introduce y'all to 8-Bit Ninja Turtle, who I think this is actually your first TBC podcast.
I believe so.
You were in a lot of the unnamed podcasts we used to do. But it's been mostly Morgoloth and me lately in this podcast, so this is a nice little change.
Totally.
Anyway, it comes to my attention that you're a bit of a pyromaniac.
Maybe a little.
A little?
Setting things on fire in Left 4 Dead 2 doesn't count.
Yes, I play Left 4 Dead 2 with this guy. I mean, everything's on fire all the time. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a little backstory here. 8-Bit Ninja Turtle and I went to high school together. We also kind of did middle school briefly together. And we did college together, and we've worked together on many projects, and we kind of know each other, you know.
Just a bit.
For, let's see, since 2002. Throwing that out there, spitballing.
Yeah, about 2002.
So, okay, this guy, when I met him, he's the most quiet person in the world. He's still the most quiet person in the world, but I've put things together recently, thinking back, that you should never be friends with the most quiet person in the world.
And what's that?
All right, for one, everybody's going to tell you, you're such a bad influence on him. He's so quiet and nice. And looking back, I'm like, wait a minute. He was the bad influence on me. All right, so let's set this up. Let's say 2004-ish, maybe 2005. We were still in high school. Mm-hmm. My mom worked nights. She was a nurse at a prison, actually. So she was gone most weekend nights. So you'd come stay the night, obviously, because that's what kids do, right?
Yeah.
Fun story there. My mom had no idea you were staying there, but that's beyond the point. You were a bad influence on me after all.
Until that one time my mom came looking for me, and your mom didn't know I was there.
Yes, I remember that day very, very well. Your mom knocks on the door, and my mom opens the door, and it's like, is 8-Bit here? I don't think she said 8-Bit, but...
Yeah, obviously.
And my mom's like, 8-Bit's never been here before. And your mom's like, are you sure about that? And yeah, I got my ass beaten, but... Alright, so one of these times you were staying the night at my place. Mm-hmm. You like to catch things on fire. You would light candles and like put paper in them and shit. Which I didn't realize how dangerous this was at the time. I'm like, he's just having fun. It's cool. Until how did this come about? We ended up in my backyard for some reason.
No. We were burning whiteout first, I think, and pens.
Whiteout and pens?
Yeah. For whatever reason. I think it was because we had a can of Axe, and we kept making fire with it. Yes,
if you have a can of Axe at home, please don't put it anywhere near a fire. To throw that out there, if you're a kid and listening to this, please do not do anything you hear in this podcast. But back in the day, it was fun if you got a can of Axe or a can of hairspray, just make a blowtorch. It's easy. It's dangerous, and we honestly shouldn't have been doing this, considering, but we thought we were mature for our age. Looking back, probably not. So, we were apparently burning pins and shit. And we also burned my carpet at some point. And
I think we burned your chair, too.
Yeah, we burned my chair. Mostly him, not me. I didn't give a shit about fire. He was the pyromaniac. How did we end up in my backyard to begin with? Like you got bored burning all my pins?
I think we ran out of whiteout.
We ran out of whiteout.
And I wanted to make a bigger fire.
Why? What possesses a person to make a bigger fire?
I don't know. It's cooler. So we went back in your backyard and
you found a can of fucking gasoline.
Yeah.
And you started a fire in my backyard.
It was okay at first. It was just a small little fire. It wasn't big or scary.
And then you caught the fucking gasoline can on fire.
Maybe a bit.
We ended up peeing it out, I think.
Yeah, we did. We had to pee on it.
It was a huge fire. We peed it out. I still can't... Well, my mom still lives in the house. I don't. But they still can't grow grass there. In the backyard. There's this awkward circle. I was smart enough before we caught it on fire to put bricks around it so it wouldn't, like, blow up the neighborhood. But there's this perfect circle where I had those bricks laid out that they can't grow grass for whatever reason. Probably because you caught the ground on fire. But yeah, you were kind of pyro heavy there. And looking back, you were probably a bad influence on me.
Yeah. Maybe a little.
To put this in perspective, though, everybody thought he was the nicest kid in the world. And I remember he talked in class one time in his entire, 5 years I knew him in middle and high school. He talked one time and he got detention. It was hilarious. Because I was relatively quiet, but I do bad shit from time to time.
Yeah.
Like when I did get in trouble, it was for big shit. Because I don't do anything halfway. And we won't talk about that on the podcast here, but apparently I found out moments before this podcast that he caught a tree on fire in a separate incident.
It was like a quarter of a tree, and it didn't even burn the whole tree down.
I gotta hear this story.
Well, prior to this, when I was like 11 or 12, my friends and I, we lived in Arizona.
This was before you caught my backyard on fire.
Yeah, it was a long time before I got your backyard on fire.
And you didn't get it out of your system? What the hell, man?
No, I actually got in trouble from the cops, too.
What made you think catching my backyard on fire was a good idea in the first place, then? If you got in trouble by the cops?
I don't know. It was another state.
Alright, go on with your story.
Anyways, and at the time I lived in an apartment complex. And my friends and I, we had this little fort because there was a brick wall that surrounded the complex, but half of it was falling apart. So we had this little fort where we used to make fires. But we got worried that people were going to see us.
Yeah.
So we went into this really old tree that was kind of covered. The branches hung down so you could go in there. It was like a little clubhouse, I guess. And we started a fire in there.
In there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was all good the first few times we did it. But then one day it was especially hot and kind of a little bit windy.
Perfect combination for a fire.
I guess some of the tinder in there and the coals blew into the tree. And it caught on fire.
All right.
We kind of freaked out.
You tried to put it out, right?
Yeah, we got it out.
How'd you get it out?
We stole one of the apartment complex's fire extinguishers.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have to break glass to get to it?
No, it just opened.
Now, did you have this fire extinguisher with you when you were catching it on fire, or did you run to the apartment and get it?
No, we had to run and go and get it and come back.
Wow. And you got it out and the cops showed up?
No, that was a separate incident. We were back in the fort when the cops showed up.
What was wrong with you?
I don't know. I guess there's nothing to do, so...
You catch a tree on fire. And you're, at this point, I would be like, all right, I'm done catching shit on fire for the rest of my life. But you know, oh, the cops didn't show up. I guess catching shit on fire is okay. All right, tell me about the time the cops showed up, then.
I think the only reason the cops showed up is because it was later in the day, like almost dark. And so they could see us in our little fort making fires. I think we were setting glass bottles on fire.
Why?
Because they exploded and it made a cool sound.
So you were exploding glass bottles.
Mm-hmm.
That does not seem safe to me. For what? You were 13 at the time?
I was 12.
12. You were 12. Blowing up glass bottles.
And it wasn't safe, but we made the fort around the fire taller. So even if it did explode, it would just hit the bricks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the cops showed up because they saw the fire.
I think so. I don't know. Somebody might have called them.
So the cops show up. What do you do?
Put the fire out. Freak out.
Did they like give you that hard ass "I'm a cop"? Listen,
Yeah.
I'm the authority shit to you?
Yeah. It's like, we're your parents.
Did they slam your face down on the ground face first and say, "Shut the fuck up, motherfucker"?
No.
Because that's what they do to YouTubers whenever they get swatted.
Nah, they just walked us to our apartment. Back to our apartment.
Did your mom get like a ticket or anything for you catching shit on fire?
No, but I did get a serious butt whooping.
Ooh. Alright, so all this shit goes down, and you think it's okay to catch shit on fire at my house. Did you ever catch shit on fire at your house?
Not that I can recall.
Were you only friends with me because I had a giant backyard?
No.
Okay. Just throwing that out there. Because I remember, we caught everything on fire in there. I wasn't the biggest fan, but I kind of went along with my friends because I wasn't so assertive back in the day. Like I said, my carpet was pretty much ruined by us axing it and catching the axe on fire. Apparently we did it to my chair as well. I think we ruined a desk at some point because the desk we were playing whiteout with on. Yeah, and then I think
wasn't that your mom's desk too?
It probably was. Don't let her listen to this podcast. What was I going to say? You interrupted me. I think the backyard fire was like the last straw for me, and I'm like, all right, 8-bit, you're not catching shit on fire anymore. Not at my house.
Yeah, we never set anything else on fire after that.
It was a mess. I don't like the idea of things catching on fire. I like having a safe house. And then I got Left 4 Dead 2 about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. Or a week and a half ago. And 8-bit had gotten it before. I know Left 4 Dead 2's been out a while, but we're really slow at buying games, apparently.
Yeah, we're cheap.
It was on sale.
Yeah.
So he's been playing a while, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's play a game. I'm a noob, but let's play a game. And we like walk out, and he catches everything on fire, and it's been that way every time we play. And it's like, dude.
Sometimes even to our detriment.
I just want to throw this out here. Because I think I'm a very philosophical... That's not a word. Philosophical person. And I think about this shit, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why would you set zombies on fire? All it's going to do is have a whole bunch of flaming zombies coming at you. It's not really going to stop them.
Pretty much.
And that's pretty much how it is in the game. You catch them on fire and they run past you going like, ah! But why would you do that, man? I guess it happens. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why I don't like to play games with 8-bit anymore. Because he catches everything on fire.
Not in every game. Some games don't even have fire.
Oh, you probably hacked them. You're capable of that. If you don't know, I guess this is our introduction of 8-bit here. He is our webmaster, would we call it? Isn't that like a 2000s term of a person who makes a website? A webmaster. Sounds cool.
It still applies, I suppose.
He does basically all our web shit because he's the smartest person on the group here.
I don't know about that, but
hashtag I'm really lazy, but I could really probably do some of the shit he does. But
yeah.
Why did I say hashtag? That was the stupidest fucking whatever. Like us on Twitter and follow us on Facebook because I got that backwards. All right, so that's 8-Bit Ninja Turtle. He's going to be back in some podcasts here in the future. He likes to catch shit on fire, and we have more high school stories. Some involving girls. Some
a stalker?
You had a stalker?
I had a stalker.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We played hacky sack that one time. We'll talk about that.
That one time?
That one time, yeah. We'll discuss it later, because it's an awesome story, apparently. According to every person I've ever told it to. Anyway, if you like this podcast, please like us on the YouTubes, follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube, all that stuff. It really motivates us to make new things. And thanks for listening. This is the TBC Podcast. Don't forget to support the letter C. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Yeah, we played hacky sack that one time. We're going to talk about it.
That one time. We played hacky sack like every day.
I'm really glad I remembered the letter that sponsored us.
The letter C?
Did you miss that at the beginning when I said, welcome to the TBC Podcast presented by the letter C?
Yeah. Why the letter C?
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Morgoloth here, back for another exciting Loot Crate unboxing. Haha. And December's theme is anniversary. So I guess we'll see some long-running series and games and whatnot items in here.